I can see why. A lot of great talent.
Smash or pass?
Smash or pass? Well, okay. This is Easter Sunday, so we'll just leave it at that.
I'm going to hell anyway.
We're already here.
Yeah.
Wait, you're calling BABSCon hell?
Not exactly.
No.
Best part of the con?
The best event so far.
What's been the Cards Against Ponies?
Yeah!
Yeah, that was one of the funniest kind of ever hosted, and I would love to do that again. It was kind of very hilarious.
Right up there with my little match game.
There we go. Loretta's going to tie him to the back. I'm trying to snow kitty? Oh, okay, nice. Oh, they're making it smart here at the Defensive Con. And now, who here got to see the interview with between Dusty Cat and Andrea Lippman? Yeah. Dusty cleans up nice, don't he? I mean, geez, he's looking pretty classy, and I'm just trying to emulate a tenth of that with my own flair. I'm also renting myself out as a light. You need a disco ball for your party talking. Disco ball, that's right.
That is
true.
That's true. But I was here first, dang it. I think so. Actually, I'm jealous of that hat. Where did you get it? Online. That's what I think. Problem is, I've got like this massive swollen head. I think it's all the hot air. It's like Sputnik head. If I need a hat that fits, it's difficult.
You beep at the TSA whenever you pass the metal detector with all that outfit?
Sorry?
Do you beep at the metal detector at the...
One of your phones.
Okay.
Oh no, I was trying to find some waiting music that doesn't drive you insane.
It's my alarm clock. It stopped the video.
Yeah, that happened to me
No more alarm,
Crystal
right?
Mountain Con 2017.
In the middle of your
Memories.
Those were the
does all the videos for he's like how waiting music is made.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Ryan George.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. People will hate this. Whatever. It's like you.
Yeah.
Okay, from Montreal.
From Montreal. So there. So the question was, do you set off the metal detectors or the security scans at TSA?
Today?
Well, I hope not.
No, nothing happened with the metal detector. It's just, I'm just more of a person for going to have. I'm like 1 hour away from home, from here, so I feel perfectly fine with all this LED having.
There you go, see. And if they pop to, you could just say, look, I'm going to San Francisco. Oh. That makes sense. We're good. Move along. Move along. Move at all. See, I'm here from Colorado. I wonder who here is from the furthest place away from California. Who are you?
Pennsylvania, that's where I've lived for like the last 15 years of my life.
All right, we got Pennsylvania on the.
He's going to be, I was going to say Ohio.
Oh, Pennsylvania, Ohio, here? Taiwan! They got you put in beat. Taiwan represented over here. Did anyone beat Taiwan? I didn't think so. How are you enjoying your time in the U.S.?
Very good. Time here in the U.S.
Oh, okay. I will say though, on behalf of the United States, we're sorry.
Specifically.
I can't be specific. It's better just to be a blanket statement of I am so sorry. We're usually not like this. I'm sorry. Nobody knows the sorrow I've seen. Nobody but an election year. No, but we're glad you're here. Glad that you're enjoying your time. And we're glad the AV staff who are helping us get things ready to roll. Ooh, in fact, they've got the images. Are we ready to roll?
I'm waiting for 2 people.
2 people?
15.
Did they? And they know they're supposed to be.
I hope so.
Who are you waiting for again?
Igor Raptor and Tony. Is that? and Bucky. They might still be in the vendor hall.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, I tell you, how about we start with your preview, and I will go to the vendor hall and make sure they're not just sitting by, looking all chillaxing.
Do you want to see what's the range for the microphone?
That would be incredible,
Yeah.
but I would also look like a crazy person. Silver Cruz lost it again, just going the other way. I'm walking down the hallway. I am closely approaching the vendor hall.
Oh, I want to be interviewed.
Yeah, thank you, random stranger. I appreciate that. What's your name? Goodbye. They are now running away from me. Why do people always do that? All right, but I think that's a good way to go. We shall show you some previews from ACLP Films and Minty Roots.
All right.
And also good, and I shall return. That's not a promise.
All right.
So that's a project I've been working on for quite a while. I've been teasing it at a couple of conventions, and I've been mostly just putting very random bits that I already pre-rendered, and was thinking like, I would like to actually show the proper preview of the remake of my very first pony animation ever. It's called Project Thundercloud Remake, or is it?
Yeah.
Let's no,
Yeah.
you're gonna see. Let's open it with the right one. And cinema!
Here it goes. The sounds.
Do we have sound? We don't have sound.
If you try muting and unmuting again.
We don't have sound. Shoot, I thought we would be able to start early.
Check the output. Thing.
Where is the?
Oh yeah, chat. I didn't see that one.
Should be that. Should be the one. Nope. We don't have sound. Technical difficulties happen all the time,
Yep.
but mostly at my panels.
Hey.
I don't know if I angered someone and my luck is out. Did I anger the Easter Bunny by insulting him?
Yes.
Yep.
I know.
Listen. I'm trying to understand the relationship between bunnies and eggs. Bunnies do not lay eggs,
Oh, no.
as far as I know.
Test.
Your microphone's out.
Wanna try this one?
Test. All right.
That's right.
Test.
Do we have sound?
Maybe I'm wearing a mask.
We do not have sound.
Test.
Oh, we're getting the
Test,
good
test.
old ways.
Test.
Yep.
These are not working.
Yeah, they made the laptop in a very uncourageous manner.
Mike. These are not on.
Our wireless mic 1,
Why is it not fitting?
1,
Wait,
2,
there
and
it
4
goes.
on.
Is that the?
That's the headphone jack.
Hope it's not too huge.
Is it currently muted or off?
Shouldn't. There's nothing stuck in my headphone jack.
Shoots. Hello.
Hey. Headphone jack doesn't fit.
Mute 1, 4.
Fit in. We couldn't fit it all in.
You have an adapter or something? Adapter?
Wireless mic 4.
There we go.
1, 2.
There we go.
Did you mute or not?
There we go. That's a good. You got it back up.
Wireless mic 1.
Always be prepared.
Plug into 4.
I hope it's not gonna cuss.
4, 1, 2. Yes.
Oh, come on.
4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Stop. This shit doesn't work. And this.
Testing mic 1, 1, 2.
Mike. Oops.
I guess so.
What is
Oh, we
this?
had a concert yesterday.
So we have a fan. We had a fan animation concert. Okay.
This doesn't fit my laptop. Like I'm trying to fit it and doesn't.
Is there an adapter or something?
Could you mute the line in, please?
Is that a headphone jack?
That's a headphone jack. Like it fits perfectly fine this one,
Yeah.
but when I try it spams.
Let me see. Why is that? Let me
I don't
check
know.
if I have an adapter. I don't know. I don't know if I do yet.
Does that work?
No, I don't.
I tried and it just spams the play button because I think that just generates too much noise, and I think the button inside.
That has a button in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I,
Can you make it work through HDMI?
I will give a USB A port on that.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have some technical difficulties, but it should come back eventually. While we try to find our.
Well, let's see. Fluffy sends her regrets. She's working in the vendor hall right now. But everyone, if I may encourage you,
this work?
EG and Fluffy both in the vendor hall selling
USB
Rainbow
audio.
Dash Presents DVDs and artwork.
Yeah.
And Fluffy's
Your
just got
device.
a whole manner of charms, prints. What else
You need to
can
go
I
into your
see?
audio settings and select that
Well,
device.
basically a whole slew of things, kind of all at once. But an excellent artist in terms of background. So if you want to talk about art, want to learn a little bit more about how to lay something out in a shoebox view, which is a term I only just learned yesterday. I encourage you to head by the vendor hall and buy lots of stuff because we want the vendors to come away
I think
clean with full pockets and you with wonderful memories.
we hear it?
There we go. We got sound.
Oh, that sounds like
There we go. We got it. We got it in.
So, without further ado, here's the preview for Project Thundercloud Remake. And start!
AV. AV.
AV.
Is something wrong? No. Yes. I need you to take this letter to Twilight Sparkle in Ponyville right away. This is an emergency. Equestria depends on it. I will do what I can. You have to do your best. Why did I have to stay behind?
And this is it for now. I'm very excited. I'm trying to get it complete by this summer. And now, EG couldn't be there this convention, so he decided to send me a preview of Project Paradise. His original Pony project he's been working on for I think the last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yep, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like. And he sent us a preview that you're going to be able to see right now.
Yes.
And without further ado, I hope I'm not putting it
I'll bring you back soon, Princess. I promise.
Paradise.
Yes.
Did you have the preview
Yeah, this one.
All right, next we're gonna have a preview from ACLP.
All right. Hello, Mike. Oh, not again.
Peter?
Seriously? You're
Hello.
cursed.
Yes, there we go. The mic is working again. All right. Hello. So yes, I am definitely going to show this preview that I have actually worked on for been a month right now. It's more of an SFM project that I'm worked on for that. It's not yet finished, but it's something that I've seen when I watched season 9. I was like wondering, what if this actually happens, or what if this is actually a thing, or since I have watched like comics or read comics about it and other stuff. So, and this is probably a short preview called Rise of Crowbar. And here it goes.
And real microphones right now. It's very weird.
And yes, that was still a work in progress, but I can hope we get the job done.
Well, yes, we always works in progress are some of the best. Peter, it's not a requirement that you have anything to show, but would you like to talk about the process?
Sure. We had a premiere on Friday of a new video that's going to come out this week. If we can get connected to Dropbox, I can play it.
You got a password?
Do you have a way I can send you a Dropbox link and then you can open up on there?
Discord.
Password, quick. Everyone seems to get a credit card number while you're at it.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
If your password is mayonnaise, then, well, I guess it's...
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. And I guess you sandwich that in between your other passwords.
Is mayonnaise
Password
instruments?
and home.
You're not okay. You're not seeing my Discord in this one.
Yeah.
Wait, is it off?
Yeah.
Oh, I think.
The heavy flame. Oh dear.
Oh, is it?
Wait, I thought you're Murder Death King from My Hero Academia.
Should I send it to you on Discord?
Let's try.
I forget his full
Twitter
title.
or
Yeah, problem is mostly just Discord is hanging.
King Explosion Murder.
I don't think I have you on Discord. Oh wait, yes I do, because we were in
And at this point, guy goes boom boom bang bang. Okay. Where are we?
posting it in the.
Now, we had a
And that
panel
group channel.
yesterday talking about 2D versus 3D, and you can see a lot of the elements at play in those previews, having to factor in how the rain is going to fall and influence the composition, how the grass is going to look close up as we rise to see Ponyville destroyed. And you know somewhere Big Macintosh is like, oh, come on, I just helped fix that. So, I want to, Casey, what's involved with rendering all that grass to have that opening tilt-up shot to the destroyed Ponyville?
Yes, the grass that I use is mostly like more of a block, like it's a square shaped thing that I just had to copy and paste and just expand it to the entire. I just mostly expanded so that it would show more of a distance and also the shot goes below, and I had to also scale it because putting a lot of grass does require a lot of memory to add. So yes.
Just curious real quick, was the grass greener on one side or the other?
I could say they're mostly the same.
Okay, well, copy paste was it.
It's
But now-
procedurally green.
Procedurally green. I like that phrase. All right, so we have another preview for everybody.
Yes, so this video is going to be posted on the Don Somewhere YouTube channel this week. Later this week.
And play.
Here's Rick. Lasagna.
You asked me to make lasagna.
I hate lasagna.
You asked me to make it.
I told you 1,000 times I hate lasagna.
I asked you 3 times, and you said lasagna. Sunshine, eat your lasagna.
I want something else.
You asked for lasagna.
I want something else.
At the door, okay? Eat your dinner.
Hey, Twilight.
What?
Are you having dinner?
Yes, we're having lasagna.
I hate lasagna.
Go away! Because you're at my house, which is not a restaurant.
Please, Twilight, I don't know where else to go.
A restaurant!
But they're all changed now, Twilight. I don't recognize these places anymore. They're all the same, but I don't know the ponies. Mommy, can she have my lasagna?
You're not here and not in the dining room eating your lasagna. It must be because it was already eaten.
It's too cold.
I just put it out. It can't be too cold.
It's too hot, I mean. I'm waiting for it to cool down.
Sunshine, can I eat your lasagna?
I just want something else.
You asked for lasagna.
You made it wrong.
Honey, I swear to you, Mommy is not very creative when it comes to cooking. I barely know ricotta from maracas. I followed the recipe. It is always the same every time.
I don't eat lasagna, Twilight. My Dash can eat my lasagna.
Gosh, you just complained you hate lasagna.
I'll still eat it though.
I didn't make lasagna for you.
I'll clean my whole plate. I'm a very good eater.
Sunshine, what else do you want?
Homemade pizza.
Maybe it'll take an hour for me to do homemade pizza.
I can go for homemade pizza.
A lasagna is a pizza. Anyway, because it's just cheese and sauce with some toppings and a wheat-based substrate, it's the same.
Oh, pizza is not lasagna.
Why are you here? Aren't the Wonderful supposed to be feeding you or something?
We were having a disagreement about where a couch should go, and then they brought up that time I broke through the routine and that guy had to get surgery, and then I threw some dishes and I knocked over a few lockers, and now we're not talking.
Yeah, she was fighting with the Wonderfuls pretty much every week.
I fight with you all the time, we're still friends.
Yeah, but we don't share a ferret or a mess hall. Which is why I'm not going to make you dinner.
No, I don't want to be alone. You don't understand. You got sunshine and lasagna that you don't even want to eat. I'll eat it.
You can start your own tea. Eat a couch when you go down to Tony Joe's and scout out some hopefuls.
They bought Home Joe's. It's in McCones now.
Oh, well, what about the fat grease spoon?
Oh, that's in McCones too.
What about, that drag bar where someone's birthday? You know,
Today's video.
she turned into a rarest for you.
Yeah, there's 2 of them now, which I guess is good since that means they're competing for festivals.
We need each other.
Mommy, can I have a quesadilla?
Sweetie, that's just cheese. You can't have just cheese for dinner. Or at least not as often as you do.
Please.
Okay, I'll make a pizza. I'll eat the lasagna. Dash, you can stop.
Thanks, Twilight. Can I get black olives on mine? I hate black olives.
Oh my gosh.
Black olives.
That's it.
Alright.
So yeah, that'll be posted later this week. I did the sound mixing very quickly before getting on the plane to come here, so that's the reason why it's not posted yet. I'm gonna go home and mix the levels just a little bit so it sounds a little better, and then it'll be posted, I promise. Also, at the end of this credits, there's a running joke that Greg didn't tell me about. He's been using the same crusty JPEG for like the outro slide. Let me just get to that. It's this one right here. This has been a mentally advanced video for your viewing pleasure or whatever. He's been using this same crusty image. Oops. This is our nice logo that I made. One sec. There we go. There was a dead pixel in the corner of the screen. And you know, since I am an adamant professional and a professional video editor, I was like, oh, let me fix that for you real quick. And when he saw that, he's like, how dare you remove my crusty pixel? It's supposed to get worse every time. I'm like, oh,
wow.
I didn't realize that this was a joke. I wouldn't have fixed it. So I'll fix it. I'll unfix it. I promise. The dead pixel will return. I promise.
I like.
It's for a Twitter trend. Hashtag justice for dead pixel.
Yes, it'll be back. It'll be back. I promise.
I like how mentally advanced video is not uppercase. So you just say, yeah, this is, as a matter of fact, a mentally advanced video.
Yeah, not trademarked. It just is.
Now, especially with Rainbow Dash stuff, did you have to go in and make like an image for each color of the letters?
Oh yes, yeah. No. It was all done in After Effects. I could just recolor each one individually to get it like that, and then I just reused the same one over and over again.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, this time the first one like this, it was called Where Are We Now or something like that. It was like what are the Rainbow Dash Presents mentally advanced people doing 10 years later or whatever. So this one is a follow up to that, and this time I properly made the character puppet rigs with mouth face plates that I can just swap out. Because the first time I did it, I just did separate images for each face. I'm like, why am I doing it this way? This is the stupidest way to do it. So this is, we can do these a little bit faster now that I've properly formatted it.
Oh, marvelous. Now, Minty, Rain in animation.
So there's 3 different approaches that are used concurrently in the animation. One of the things is that whenever you have rain that involves the background, one of the things I really wanted is that since it's water and water is refractive and reflective, the idea is that I wanted to actually have water that would actually reflect the whole environment around, which would be a nightmare. And the whole idea is I had cards with basically just a pattern of the rain that would just slide around. And the thing is that since I could actually put a shader that would be procedural and it would generate it per frame along with the animation, I could actually make it refract the environment around, which worked great. And then I had to actually have some surface. Whenever you had something that would hit the surface, I had some cards with splashes, and then those cards would be basically dancing around the surface to make it look like it was splashing everywhere. Then on the actual surface where it hit, but I also have a texture that was reflective, but I also have some bump map to try to make it like the water was actually rippling.
Can you explain real quick what a card is? Because right now I'm picturing you going, I animate raindrops in splash mode.
Okay, so think of it as a 2D image that's set in 3D space. And the whole idea, for example, okay, you've played Super Mario 64, right?
Yes.
Okay, remember all those trees that were always facing you no matter what, and they always had that weird angle?
Always facing me.
Okay.
Always judging.
So what you can do is that instead of just having to do it in 3D because it would be way too much for what it is, the whole idea is that you only had just one facing image with the alpha with the proper refraction added. Basically with shaders you can cheat it with the bump map. And the whole idea is that you just scatter a lot. And you don't need to make them perfectly face. You can always add a little tilt. So that's the approach I had for the rain on the background. But the thing is that I also needed to have rain on the characters. So what I did is that I created a recipe that added just those cards just on top of the head of the 2D rigs. And then I just generated a normal map out of it that I could use to do some refraction. And on top of that, I needed an extra layer of rain. It was basically just me rendering a normal map of that rain that I'd paste on top of it. And then I changed it to my taste. So then, and I have to admit I might have put a bit too much rain, but for the context of the story, it just fits well.
Well, it's meant to be a severe thunderstorm. If it's just a light drizzle, I don't think anyone's going to take this threat seriously.
The rain looks good.
It does.
Yes.
There we go.
Tornado's gonna touch down.
And then there'll be a human in a house going, NTN, woo, ponies.
Well, remember the rain we had yesterday?
Oh, yes.
It was so loud, I thought a water park opened in the hotel.
That would be something.
That would be fun.
You might say it might make a splash. Hi-ho. Thank you. Now, with I don't want lasagna, but you asked for lasagna, but I don't want lasagna. I sense some personal experience at play here.
That would be a question for Greg. He is the voice actor and writer for the series. He's a very talented writer, and he is, in fact, a father of a 4-year-old boy. And this is, in fact, based on an experience he has had with his son.
I could feel his pain.
You can feel it through the video, yeah.
Through
So
the
I hope my very limited facial animation conveys that.
Or, believe me, just the lines under Twilight's eyes convey
Yes, they say so much.
so much. Now with Twilight versus Grogar and the thunderstorm, there's a lot of lighting at play. The
Yes.
fires consuming Ponyville, the lightning that is zooming in the sky and reflecting off the water, off the buildings. How do you both approach that much varied lighting?
Your lighting.
Yes, the lightings that I've used in that clip is mostly the spotlights, volumetric lights, and yes, and also with Source there's a limit of adding lights with shadows, so I was able to manage to override it to where I can add more shadows, and I usually add around 20 to 25, and also particles. Like I added most of them I use. There is like a volumetric light, but also there's like a particle where you can add fogs. So that's what I've mostly been using, and I had to use a light at a far distance to use the sun to make it look like it's a sunlight, and pretty much, and also I had to use some lights that were to use where I can actually trick where there's lights behind. Like if you notice, there's like lights casting behind the characters. That's another thing I wanted to add probably the intense and make it more of how it's supposed to be epic. So yes, around 20 to 25 lights.
25 lights, including the sun.
Yes.
You moved the sun.
Where's the sun?
How does it feel to be Celestia, usurper? Or maybe you want to be a little Doc Ock, the power of the sun in my hand. And then one of those Capri Sun kids shows up. Dude, it's been done.
Yes.
You have my permission to kill that kid. Minty, lightning.
So the interesting thing with Blender is that nowadays you have stochastic path tracing. The whole idea is that you do a statistical analysis where you simply sample a random assortment of rays that you could have in terms of the way that they would bounce on surfaces. And the one thing it really helps is that you can actually have emissive materials that actually glow on other objects. And since you have rain that actually has refraction in it, and you had a point light that bounce on all the surfaces, basically it just glows on the rain and it glows on everything else. It glows on the volumetrics as well, so you have that little warm feel that you have. And the whole idea is that since you can control all of that, it's so much better in terms of look overall. One of the things too is that in some of the shots, it's like I was looking at the budget to just try to retrace everything. It just be a nightmare. So some of those shots, the idea was that since you wouldn't really see the glow on other objects, it was basically the sky and the character in the front. The idea was the model was simply just a pre-rendered version of the sky with all the clouds, and then I just had one point light that would just emit on that, and then I'd fake a glow on everything else that was isolated. And it gives a lot more control because one thing with lightning is that in movies they really like to have the lightning happen at the most important moment. It's and just having control over the timing. I could just change when the lightning would strike to just have something that's so much more emotionally hitting, and just having that amount of control helps so much more.
Well, funny enough, you're making me think of a scene of a movie, The Devil Wears Prada, where the titular devil lady snaps her fingers and outside lightning strikes immediately. It's, so you have, okay, we've got one person controlling the sun, another person controlling the power of lightning itself. I feel like there's a little bit of a God complex seeping into the animation industry.
I can control lasagna.
Okay, you can control lasagna. My God. Have they hired you for the Garfield movie?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, well, we'll get them stirring in the noodle on that one.
Yeah, they better.
They better. I don't know, lasagna with ricotta cheese or without?
I like lasagna in any forms.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I'm not like the child of Dash.
But I'm also curious, with the character models and the rigging, are they scaled specifically to those sizes, or do you go bigger and shrink them down?
For this series, I'm keeping them the same size, pretty consistent, because it's supposed to be kind of like an RPG kind of conversation type thing. When I was doing Rainbow Dash Presents, I would be drawing each scene, like the character. It wasn't a puppet rig like in Rainbow Dash Presents, or Rainbow Dash Presents was not puppet rigs. It was just kind of change. It was like a glorified animatic, is kind of what I call it. But I would redraw the characters in each scene usually. Sometimes I would keep the body the same and like draw the head in a different position, but it was mostly that. But yeah, in this I was drawing them to, like, they're all in the same Photoshop file, and they're all at the proper scale, and I can just drop them in to After Effects.
Have you considered using After Effects to give that, you mentioned sort of an RPG feel? You know those weird mobile RPGs where they're like idling as they talk? Have you ever thought of trying to do that? Because it can be a bit of a nightmare.
I've done that on other projects, like there's a YouTube channel called Funky Panda that I did a lot of art for, like, and it was all like, you know, motion graphics. And for 2 months, I did a thing where you would unlock a new character with each upload of the month, each song upload, and there would be like a different idle animation for each character. So I did do something similar to that before. It's very fun to do an idle animation.
Well, I gotta ask, what do pandas do to these guys?
To these guys?
Well, to that channel you
to each
mentioned.
other. I didn't show the fight, so I'm not entirely sure what they did. It's left to the imagination.
Okay, well, what imagination.
Your imagination.
So we see several models of animation style. We have After Effects, Source Filmmaker, and mixture of Toon Boom and what else?
Toon Boom, Blender, After Effects, Premiere.
And a partridge
all of it.
in a pear tree.
Wow.
All of it. So if someone in the audience wants to really try these things, is there a good entry point, a starter program that may be a little less expensive than these powerful programs that you'd recommend?
Well, Blender is free.
Blender is free. Toon Boom, I know, is not free.
It's not free. However, if you're a student, you can get a student discount that's so much better. I think it's like 10 times cheaper.
Yes. SFM is free, of course.
SFM is free.
Or if you have a student email specifically, you can use it. I'm just use that information as you will.
Let's go see if you can get BABSCon to convert itself to a college real quick, and just say, everyone, get your screen name at babscon.com.
I have a program actually. I used DaVinci Resolve for a while. It has a free version, but the premium version is like, I think, $400. But in the free version, you have all these features that aren't exactly exclusive to the premium version, but you can still test them out. And so it's like, if you don't like the premium version things that you have in the free version, you can just outright use what you have in the free version.
DaVinci Resolve is great. Even the free version, you can do a lot with it.
Hey, I'm a DaVinci. I'm now a resolving program. This is incredibly offensive accents. Hashtag cancel Silver Quill. And justice for Dead Pixel. All right, well, let's see here. We've got just a little over 10 minutes left, and I bet the audience has some questions. So, it's really hard to see with these lights in my face, so I'm going to risk my neck, because I'm old. I'm going to come down and raise your hand, I will come to you, and you can ask a question of any of these fantastic animators.
Oh, look, house lights.
Oh, sure, now that I'm off the stage there. That's great, thank you. So, does anyone have a question for our animators? Okay.
Yes?
Yes, do you prefer white or wheat toast?
What? Okay.
I'm gonna go with white. It's not as healthy. I think it's mostly just because it's easier to tell when my dad burns them whenever I do toast. Because my dad learned the hard way that there's a very, I had to tell him, like, the button in the front, just turn in to stop burning your toasts. And he said, like, no. And I kind of forced him to do that. He stopped burning toasts. Yeah.
How reliable income-wise is the private sector if you don't want to get
I didn't.
How reliable is the private sector if you want to get hired, or
Do not want to get hired.
do not want to get hired?
You'll never work for the man.
Oh, you mean like work on with commissions?
Oh, independent.
Freelance, yes.
Oh.
Freelance, independent. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. I've been trying. I tried freelance for a bit, and I realized that I actually it would actually work better for a studio, because at least the studios they have a more guaranteed return in terms of projects that they have, at least until the writer's strike happened. But it's slowly starting to get back to normal.
Isn't the competition backbreaking?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're in the private, or when you're a contractor, you're just doing freelance. You are, you're competing with other freelancers, and that can be pretty difficult. To compete with that, you either have to adjust like your pricing, or to be like specifying a specific niche, fill a specific need. But I mean, there's plenty of room to find success in freelance. We've all done it. So.
You mentioned you always wanted to ask this question.
Yes. I'm in the front row, so it doesn't.
Well, the audience wants to hear you too.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
No. So this is a question specifically towards Don somewhere. I've been watching the Rainbow Dash Present stuff for many years. Like, what keeps you motivated to keep that series going for as long as it has?
Well, I mean, the series sort of stopped like 6 years ago, and it's only just come back. So, what kept me motivated was it's just really fun to create things. Like, I've always had a passion for seeing a project from its hypothetical stage, just planning out and coming up with the idea, to seeing the script, to seeing the animag, to seeing it start to come to finally posting it online and just seeing the response to it. And that really fills me with excitement every time to sort of see something that at one time only existed in my brain be something that exists in the real world that other people can experience as I wanted people to experience it. And that's something that's super exciting. And as to why the show stopped, I went back to school, I got a job, things become very busy, and it's hard to continue to keep up with the effort of a project like this, which is why this project is a little bit more scaled back. It's something that doesn't require me to spend months and months of full days working on it. It can be done in a shorter period of time. So more realistically, we can give you all content that way.
Yeah, but essentially what you're saying is that your audience basically motivated you to keep that series going.
That is true, yes. Thank all of you.
Hi, this is more of a similar question, but when you get, artist block and it's just kind of hard to continue work on a project, what brings you back to it? How do you get back on your feet whenever it's just, tired?
Well, one of the things I did realize when it comes to artist block is that what's mostly important is to get the gears rolling. So one of the things I usually do when I'm stuck with for example, sometimes I'll be stuck because I just keep second guessing myself with one of the scenes, thinking how am I going to do that? Just trying to jump on something else. For example, I might jump in a completely different scene. I might try to just rename my layers for a scene. I might try to debug things that don't work. I might work in a rig for another project. Just the fact that I can keep rolling on something actually really encourages me, because just staying stagnant, doing nothing, is worse, I think, in my case, for the soul, because it feels like I'm worthless. And being worthless, I think, is even worse, because I feel like I can't do anything. It just becomes a vicious cycle that's really hard to get out of. So and sometimes it's really nothing very complex. I might just do a very, very simple task while I watch a movie or watch TV, just to get the feel that I'm doing something. It's so much better that way.
See if you can see. Oh,
Good question up here.
See some hands. And hand off.
What kind of advice would you give for someone who wants to get into animation but has never done it?
Practice.
Well, one of the things is obvious. Don't start with the biggest project first. I did, and I suffered. Although I did that back in 2008 with a very simple copy of Flash and basically just trying to wiggle sprites around to try to come up with a story that I was writing along as I was animating it. Just start with something very simple. It could just be a pony running or just a lip sync test, just to really test the ground to see if you have fun with it and to see if you understand the software correctly. And people in the fandom really like seeing artists doing very simple stuff as they get started. You just show them just the simplest sketch of a pony, and they're the most excited ever. So, and it really helps because it gives a boost of encouragement to get and keep going. And I really recommend to start with something like that, and eventually you can start making your own big project as you pick up the skills to put it together.
I feel very called out with the big project.
So,
Yeah, don't start with your dream project.
yes. So what I can do is say is you can usually I just start small, and the more I keep on learning about how to do the animations, the storyboard, the script and stuff, it will get better over time. Once you get to understand and how you're going to put into the content. But yeah, by starting small and then soon you're starting to grow big.
When there's a question, yeah, there's a fun fact. The fun fact is faster, so let's start with that. I think the only animation I've ever finished was about a guy who sneezed and then popped out angel wings. He was so close up that you could only see his head and the top of his wings, and there was no more than 8 frames maximum. And he just sneezed and suddenly he had wings. The question is, do you know any viable self-help treatments to imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. I mean, that is definitely something that I've struggled with before. I think the important thing for imposter syndrome is to I know this isn't helpful, but you need to know your worth. You need to you need to listen to other people when they say that they like your work, and because we as artists are always our biggest critics, especially artists that are really dedicated to growing and developing and honing their craft. We always see the thing that we made yesterday or the week before, it's not very good. But the next thing you make is going to be better. And every time that you make something, and if you're dedicated to actually refining what you're doing, you will get better every single time. And over time, you will become the artist that you always wanted to be. But you have to keep at it, and you have to continue to improve.
I suppose one benefit of imposter syndrome is you're never complacent, so you never stop improving.
Yeah.
You always think you're always moving the goalpost unintentionally in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I'm going to become the thing that starts. I'm not that yet. Wink, wink, you are. A little bit about that animation. It was made with Windows Movie Maker.
Ooh.
Remember that?
Ooh, I feel old.
I feel old.
With
Classic.
tracing paper. Pencil and tracing paper, that's what I use.
Also, for the imposter syndrome, let's not forget there's some people who just use AI to try to generate images and they think that they're the next top artist. We have people in the fandom who do incredible job. They think that they're frauds, but they actually work. They do everything themselves, and I think their work should be respected. It's incredible the kind of work that they do, and just comparing to people who just press the generate button, it's just disheartening. So
They don't have imposter syndrome, so
Yes.
don't let them intimidate.
Yes.
So, at least for me, animation seems really, really impressive because there's so many things going on. There's the audio, the video, music, the direction, the story. For me, whenever I'm creating, I tend to zoom in on very specific details and miss sight of the big picture, and that seems like a much bigger problem in animation. What are some tips that you use to try to make sure you stay focused on the big picture rather than small details?
What are some tips to focus on the big picture instead of getting caught up on the details? You guys want to get that?
deadlines.
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 Yeah. if you break it up, if you focus on the big picture for a while and then you strategically break the big goal up into smaller goals, it does help a lot with like getting the project done. And it allows you to just sort of like, it allows you to kind of indulge in the details, but like you should give yourself time and deadline so that you know, like, I need to get this done by this time in order to get to the next one. You don't want to get so focused on like one thing that you neglect the rest of the project. So that's why people, use shortcuts or use, it's important to know how to balance your time for things.
It's also worth noting that a lot of people, when they work on the animation, they only look at still frames as it's being made. One of the things I really recommend is sometimes just stop, render an edit of the project so far and just watch it. And sometimes you're going to notice that some of those elements pass so fast that it's a blink of you miss it situation. So trying to add more detail for that would be worthless. It's hitting diminishing returns very quickly, so it really helps. And sometimes just sending it to other people to see what they think. Sometimes they're gonna, they're gonna realize like, it's not the end of the world if it looks a bit fuzzy or anything. It's perfectly fine. So we're getting short in time. Do we do flash questions before they kick us out?
Okay, yeah, we can do like 2 more quick questions. I've already asked about toast. I don't think you can go any lower than toast.
Oh, actually, you can go lower than toast. Burnt toasts.
Burnt toast? Well, yeah, we talked about don't burn the white toast.
I didn't get to answer that question. I actually prefer biscuits.
Yes.
Scandal.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
AC, what about you?
Not really. More of a grilled toast.
So, any other questions from the audience? Well then, we are at time and perfectly timed. So thank you to our wonderful moderators for sharing the beauty and talk. Thank you for everyone coming to see us and share your stories and ask your questions. We all hope you have a fantastic rest of BABSCon 2024. Also remember, # Justice for Nick Pixel, cancel Silver Bill, and